Before we get into the video, if you're looking for top quality sample packs, preset packs and templates for your music production, they're entirely royalty free. You can use them in your own productions and learn from them. If you're interested, check out the link in the description and enjoy the video. What's good people, it's Lewis of bbrights and I am back for a brand new video. In this video I'm going to be continuing a video I made a couple weeks ago called How to Make a Deep Voice tutorial, similar to ANG and W&W, some tracks in KEVU like Ravers, Arcure, etc. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it in the description, check that out and then come back to this one. But in this video I'm going to be continuing it, making it a small mini series, 3 or 4 parts or so, and at the end of it I'll give the FLP out for free for the support. So in this episode I'm going to be working on the superswords and the big leads and this climax here. In the last episode I said it would be cool to have a big supersword breakdown, so that's exactly what we're going to do in this episode. I'm going to play through what I have, just to refresh everyone's memory, and then we're going to jump straight into the superswords and get a good episode going. So I hope you enjoy it, and let's go.
As the music unites us as one big family, and the people around you share the same love for dance music. Let the energy and happiness lift you up into a place you've never experienced before. Welcome to our rave.
Yeah, so that is what we have so far. So this is the melody we're going to be using for big leads and superswords here. A pluck from Dune 2. It's quite a nice sounding pluck. I'm pretty sure all the effects are inside the plugin. I'm not sure. Let's check the mixer track. Yeah, so all we have here is just a camel crusher and some EQing. So the delay and the reverb seems to be in the plugin itself, which is quite nice. For now we're going to leave it, but this is the melody we're going to be basing the actual superswords and leads off. So what I'm going to do first is actually add this pluck in here, but we're going to add a cutoff filter so it fades in. So right now it's too aggressive to be blaring straight away.
As the music unites.
So we're going to add a fab filter simplon and do a automation clip just to do a nice little filter here. And then we're going to do a reverse sweep of reverb. So this is going to come down again just so we can duck some of that reverb tail. And then right now we're going to select this, make a unique. And we're going to just going to bounce out a massive reverb tail, and then we're going to reverse it and do a nice reverb sweep. So to go into the plugin, actually turn off the delay. So we click this button here to turn off the effects. So that's the reverb and delay, we turn it off. It's a dry signal, so we're just going to add a ton of reverb on it. We use Fruity Reverb 2. Just use the clean verb preset and then just turn up the decay quite a bit. And then we're going to go on the master, open up Edison, click record and play. Like that, and then go to this cursor, click, hold and drag onto the playlist. Then we're going to normalize and reverse it. Make sure you go back onto the pluck channel, take off the reverb. And then we're going to go back onto the plugin and click on effect 1. Now we have the reverb again. And then we're going to delete this. And now we have a reverse effect. We don't want the attack of the reverse because it'll be, especially like maybe this section here. That was very loud, so you don't want that. We're going to turn the generic declicking mode onto bleeding generic so it fades out, so it's a nice transition. And then we're going to turn up the in knob to make it fade in a little better. And it should sound like this if we solo them out. So there we go, now let's see what that sounds like with the track.
As the music unites us as one big family, and the people around you share the same love for dance music. Let the energy and happiness lift you up into a place you've never experienced before.
This reverse is quite loud. We're going to turn up the pluck a bit more, just to make it a bit more prominent.
You've never experienced before. You've never experienced before. You've never experienced before.
And there we go. So now we transition into this section, which is no vocal, just a pluck. We've got a nice atmosphere going. The pluck is really carrying the reverb and the delay. Fills up the mix nicely. We can enhance it a bit more with some rain and some very subtle crowds and other small atmosphere effects. But we're going to leave it for now and work on the main part, which is the Supersaws.
Welcome to our rave.
I just copied the MIDI information for the pluck. You can either just click Ctrl-C or you can right click and copy. And then we're going to open a new pattern and we're going to call it Supersort. So what we're going to do is lay down the Supersort chords first. We're going to duplicate this sampler, bring it down here, and then duplicate this a couple times to give it some more room. And we're going to open up a Nexus 3, and then we're going to go into EDM5, Synth, and then big saw chords. This one right here. Control V to paste, or you can right click and paste. Now we have this MIDI information. I'm going to rename this as Supersaw chords 1, put them on one note as we are just creating the bass line now. So if you go back into the other one, it goes from B, D sharp, D sharp, and then it's just a lower D sharp, the octave below. So we're just going to copy that on the Supersaw patterns. And what we're going to do is hold Control and Shift so we can select individual notes. So we're going to select these ones here, and then we're going to hold Alt to turn off the snap to grid so you can have more freedom. And we're going to take them a bit to the left to make them a bit more snappy so it doesn't sound all glued together. And we're going to make the shorter ones here a little more snappier. So the bass line is actually done, and now we can just transfer these into chords. So this is going to be B major. So we're going to hold Control and then click up to paste it up an octave. It's going to be B, D sharp, and F sharp. This is going to be D sharp minor. So we're going to again hold Shift, click to copy it, and hold Control and click up to pull it up an octave. It's going to be D sharp, F sharp, and B flat. So this is C sharp major. It's going to be G sharp. But that is where we're at for now. Let's add these into the mixer. So now let's add this Supersaw 1 in. Turn it down. Now we can turn off the reverb inside the plugin, and we can start layering these Supersaws. So my plan is to have around 3 Supersaws. Supersaws can get quite messy, so you've got to be careful with that. A lot of high frequency build up. And then we're going to have a couple leads from Dune, Spire, and maybe Silent for one. See what leads we can get going. And this can be another Supersaw layer. Then we're going to turn up the release a little bit because it's a little snappy. And what we're going to do here is we're going to rearrange some of the notes just to fill up more MIDI spectrum. So we're going to invert this one, invert the B, we're going to put it up an octave. So it's the same chord, it's just an inversion of the chord. We've done the same with the C sharp. And then that with the other Supersaw chord layer. Of course, this one here is going to be the more prominent one. These are just backup Supersaws just to help the layering, make the sound thicker. Let's see what this sounds like. This is from EDM5 again. We're going to copy the original one. You can hear this one carries the majority of the power, so when I do turn it off you do hear a huge decrease in volume and power. So they are the basic supersaws we have. We can do some basic mixing on them, just simple EQ taken at the low end. We're going to add an S1 stereo imager on this one just to widen out the signal a bit more. Then we're going to right click this insert here, insert to 9. We're going to right click, create group. We're going to call this Supersaw group. And then we're going to right click and link all channels to this one, so routes to this track only. That will send it to this one channel. This channel sent to the master. So if we turn this off, you won't be able to hear the supersaws. So now we can do some group processing, compression, glue them all together, but we'll leave that for now because we have some basic sounding supersaws.
Welcome to our rave.
We just have 2 leads for now. We're going to stick with these 2 and then we're going to add some more after these 2. I just want to get a general idea of what it's going to sound like. So the first one is from Dune 2. It's called Lead Oak and that will sound like this. Not a basic sound, but with some processing I reckon it could sound a lot more aggressive. And the next one is from Nexus again. It's called Lead Lizard and it sounds like this. That's going to need some heavy compression to get some of them transients under control. But it's got a good sounding lead in itself, so them 2 together sound like this. This is going to be a very mono lead, so we're going to put this quite in the center just to make sure it's quite even across the whole stereo spectrum. They're very, very basic at the moment, but with the Supersaw they sound like this. If I was to go on lead 1 and turn on effects 1, adds a huge reverb, it would sound like this. The reverb will play a huge role in this, and then yeah, if we play it from what we have now, and I'm going to turn on the effect just to get a nice reference for what it would sound like.
Welcome to our rave.
Yeah, we've got a basic idea going. It's sounding very good. It's sounding decent since the fact that there's no bass line, no sub, no effects, no processing. It's got a pretty good general idea at the moment. So we're just going to do the same what we've done here. We're going to add a group. I'm going to call this lead group. Same thing, link these 2 to the one group so we can do some processing on the leads. First thing, I'm going to EQ them separately as usual, take the low end out. But just to double check, we're going to add the waves and just turn it down just a tiny bit, just to make sure it's in this nice and middle of the stereo field. And we're going to do the opposite with this one, just to widen it out a bit. We're going to turn the main bus down, we're going to add a camel crusher, British clean, standard stuff. That creates a low end, cut that out with an EQ. Gonna do the same with the Supersaw, Camel Crusher, British Clean, make sure you turn it down. I'm going to go into Supersaw 1 and then to copy and paste this bass chord down an octave just to give it a bit more body. We add vintage Valhalla to a 400 Hz low cut, 10 kHz high cut, and turn the millisecond pre-delay down to 10. I'm going to keep the 4-second decay, 30% mix, see what that sounds like. That's quite a huge reverb, which is what we want. If we just add the Reeves bass for now, see what that sounds like.
Welcome to our rave.
Yeah, so there's still a lot of work to be done, but the general idea is there. So I've done some small little adjustments. I've added a filter cutoff for this chord arp here, just so it opens up a bit more. Makes it a more wider, huge sound with the reverb and delay. It fills up the mix nicely. And I've also added 2 more leads, main leads. We've added lead 3, Saber's lead 1 from Silent 1. And we've got Saber's lead 2 from Silent 1 2. We're going to save the processing for next episode. That'll be the main part, processing and getting it all sound as one, all glued together. And then part 3, we'll work on the drums. And then we'll make a simple drop. And then, yeah, we'll give the FLP out for free. So overall, we're going to leave this episode here. I'm going to play through what I have. And then, yeah, we can continue in the next episode. So let's see what I have. I hope you enjoy. Let's go.
As the music unites us as one big family, and the people around you share the same love for dance music. Let the energy and happiness lift you up into a place you've never experienced before. Welcome to our rave.
Yeah, sounding pretty good. We need to add the reverb and delay and sort of that, but like I said, that's the processing. I'll do that in the next episode. I'd like to point out as well that on the Supersaws, I turned down the release on all the layers. So I just, as you can see, I turned this one down 23. It makes the release a little less, so it's not as aggressive, and the release doesn't bleed over in each individual note. It was making it sound a little messy, so now it sounds a lot more clean. It sounded pretty good, and we'll work on that in the next episode. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button. Helps the channel grow and I really appreciate it. I have a new part of my progressive house from start to finish coming very soon in the next couple of days, so people waiting for that. That is coming very soon. And I'll be continuing this series with part 3 once I upload my next part of my progressive house from start to finish. So people waiting for this, don't worry, this is going to be continuing as well. And I'll give the FLP out for free at the end. It'll just be a simple project, so I hope you enjoy that. But other than that, stay safe, produce music, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Take care.